Good evening. I'd like to thank everyone in the audience for coming tonight. It's encouraging to see participation in our democratic process. And before I begin talking about myself, I'd like to remind all of you how important that is and how important that the entire community pay attention to this election. I was born in Newcastle, raised here. I've lived in Newcastle all of my life. I'm the son of Tom and Barbara Nipp. I live on South 11th Street with my family, my wife Jeanette, 4 children. I can assure you that every decision I would make as your mayor would be made not only in the best interest of you, each and every one of you in the community, it would be made also in the best interest of my children and future generations. I have something at stake too in the decisions that will be made by the next mayor. I do have a background in public service. I have a combined total of 16 years of public service experience. In addition to that, I have a collective or combined total of nearly 19 years in small business experience. I am not a stranger to the conditions that a businessman works with in Newcastle. I can assure you that while I have the strong public sector experience, including 4 years working in the mayor's office, that can be balanced with sound business principles. 4 years in the mayor's office is not something that should be blown off lightly. There is a learning curve for a new mayor. I am a candidate who can begin day one doing the things that I promised that I will do. I can begin day one delivering the service that you need from the mayor's office. And I'm not going to face the learning curve that a new mayor with no experience in public service is going to face. And I believe that that's something that we should strongly consider. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. York.
I'm Greg York, born and raised in Newcastle. Love this community. Very excited about this upcoming election, and it truly is one of the most important elections that Newcastle has ever faced. Morally, financially, just the future of our community. I was raised coming through our school system. I was raised through all the program sports systems in Newcastle. Whatever season it was is what sport I was in. I'm very excited to see Joe get involved. We need more young blood involved in our community. I raised kids in the same programs that I went through and have seen changes all along that we need to grasp and literally keep in mind that there is a future here for Newcastle, and unless we do something with it right now, it's going to get out of control. But it's still fixable. We live in a great community. There is not another community in the United States of America that a young couple should not want to raise their kids in. We have elementary teachers that go home of an evening and care about their kids. We have doctors in this community. I've had both knees replaced. I would put some of our doctors up against any doctors anywhere. We have world-class doctors. We have a community that is financially burdened right now, but the numbers that are coming in are fixable. It just takes somebody with business management skills that knows how to balance budgets, that knows how to has people skills to get the right people on the right seats of the bus. And I am just elated to be able to run for the mayor's position. I feel like I have a lot to offer. I feel like this community has a lot to offer the younger generation coming up. And I want to emphasize that this is the most important election that we faced in a long time. There's over 11,000 registered voters in the city limits of Newcastle, and in the primary, we've barely got 3,000 people out. We live in a day and age that the government and full lifetime politicians are running our country, and it's time that we get the voters back out to run our country instead of the politicians running our country. But if we don't go vote, we can't do that. I appreciate everybody coming out tonight. It's a great crowd, and I'm looking forward to talking to you all the way up till 9:30.
Ms. Baker.
Well, good evening. I am so excited to be here. I am just wanting this job more than I've ever wanted any job in my whole life. And I'll tell you what, I'm not born and raised in Newcastle, but I think that's a good thing. I've lived in a lot of different places across this country, and I have ideas that I can share with the city of Newcastle. Sometimes, you know, people who have ventured out in the world and been different places can bring things back home. And to me, Newcastle is my home now. As I look out here and I look at all the people, I know more people in Newcastle than I ever did in my hometown where I grew up of Eau Claire, Wisconsin. And you know why? Because this is just the right size. We have about 18,000 people. Everybody gets to know everybody. And I'm a people person, and I love people. And when I decided that I wanted to be the mayor of Newcastle, I didn't decide I wanted to run. I want to be the mayor of Newcastle. I want to give back to the city that has given so much to me. You guys have treated me like an adopted child. Not a stepchild, but an adopted child. And I feel loved, and I feel welcome here. And I know that I have things that I can offer that I don't think these other two gentlemen can do. Because you see, I've spent the last 40 years of my life working on selling products and making commission and never making 10 cents unless I closed the deal and got the results. That's where my strong point is. I'm not a career politician. My family's not ever been in politics, nothing. But I sat back and I've watched over the last 12 years, and I've seen how this city has been going down. And I don't want to sugarcoat it. Now, we don't want to present that to the people that we want to bring here, but there's big issues and problems in this city. And to sit here and say that everything's hunky-dory is just not the way I see it. And what I want you all to know, when I decided to become mayor, I decided that the only way that I could do this, because I'm working on a budget of under $1,000, a few hundred. My opponents here have spent thousands. I know Greg York's signs have been in the thousands of dollars because we all pass them every day. Well, while his signs are out in the yard, I've been out in your yards. And I've been walking door to door for 4 months, because that's how I started selling 40 years ago, is going door to door. And I've talked to each and every one of you that I've knocked on your door. Some of you have just taken my card and said, thank you, I'll think about you. But also, I'm the only one that on that 7-cent card versus these $10 and $12 signs and $100 banners that are all over the city. We have a little army of people. And they all have the card. And I promise you that if you hire me in November, we're not going to have to worry about the Democrat Party and the Republican Party, because, honey, the day of the party is over, and we're going independent. Thank you.
Thank you. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to answer the following questions.